All right, it's 12:01. Let's get this party started. Thank you all for coming to our webinar. I'm Rob Manfredi at Bamboo Solutions, and we're excited to show you some of the best of show products that we were displaying. And they got the best crowd reaction, I would say, from the Microsoft 365 Collab Conference in Orlando a couple weeks ago. The format today is we're going to do a quick PowerPoint overview of Bamboo, our licensing structure, how you can access no-cost trials, and then we're going to get into the two products we're going to see today. Some of it's going to be a little SharePointy, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. And hopefully you'll get something out of it and see what you can do with it. You know, we scanned 250 some odd badges at the show. I was there in the booth. I got the pitch down, right? And what really seems to resonate is Bamboo creates these low cost, high value web parts for SharePoint Online that really enhance the user experience, right? That increase adoption, that give users an expected result to doing things within SharePoint that helps the adoption increase within your organization. Another thing that really resonated well is that all of our products are a perpetual license and maintenance model. So they're not a subscription. They are things that you would buy, add to your tenant, and then use across all of your sites, hub sites, collections, et cetera, et cetera. So let's get into it, and we'll reiterate a lot of those benefits again throughout. If you have any questions, just go into the chat and ask a question. I'll try to be monitoring it so I can answer those questions throughout. I've got a couple monitors, so if my eyes seem like they're looking all different ways, it's because I'm looking at a bunch of different monitors, but I know I see you guys right up there. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. So about Bamboo, right? 20 years we've been building components for SharePoint, both on-prem and now online. What's interesting is our products are SPFX web parts. They are not add-ins. So if you've all heard the rumors about add-ins no longer being supported, it's because Microsoft is pushing third-party vendors to develop against the SharePoint framework, which we have done from the start. So our products are in the best practices and will be supported as a go-forward strategy for Microsoft. So you don't need to worry about our stuff not working as add-ins begin to lose support. So you can see we've got both large and small customers. We've got over 8,000 customers, 2,000 customers still on active support. We're seeing a lot of migrations from on-prem to SharePoint Online, plus a whole bunch of new customers to SharePoint Online that are seeing the same functional white space or things that they want SharePoint to do better. So they Google search, they find us. They find we're easy to work with. We got great trials. We're easy to install. Our support team is there to support you through a trial at no cost, because we know once your users start using our products, you're going to want to buy it. And with the cost being so low, perpetual license, it makes it easy to justify partnering with Bamboo. We like to say our experience makes us the best in class and guarantees really top-notch expertise. This stuff is hard and complicated. Sometimes the products look simple, but what they're doing within the SharePoint framework with permissions and installs and list manipulation and stuff is complicated. So we're constantly making these products better, which is what the support dollars are used for. But after so many years of building this stuff, we really have it down. You know, we're still a small company. We're 40 individuals trying to do the best we can out there. Our support team answers, gosh, we must get 50 or 60 tickets a week, that we still have a very quick average response time. And we like to give you that personalized touch and attention pre-sales and post-sales. Just a little bit about that architecture that I touched on. These are SPFX solutions. That stands for SharePoint Framework. That means they exist in your app catalog in your tenant, and they use the standard Microsoft SharePoint framework to interact with the SharePoint functions. They are not add-ins. So that SPFX functionality is using the lists and libraries and permissions that you have within SharePoint. So it's not a SaaS service. You're not accessing any Bamboo servers. We're using all of the functionality within your tenant. So there is no talkback. There is no security risk. We fill out a lot of risk compliance forms for our customers, and pretty much a lot of it becomes not applicable because our products are software that is installed within your app catalog and used within your tenant without any sort of reliance on Bamboo. And again, they are not add-ins. On the licensing and support, we have a single price per product for each SharePoint tenant. So once you buy it, add it to your app catalog, you can use it on thousands of sites for thousands of users. It doesn't matter for us. It is a perpetual license. So if you choose not to renew your maintenance, which is 22% of the purchase price, the product will continue to work. However, Microsoft is changing things within SharePoint Online, because that is a hosted service and we keep up with those changes. So we do recommend you stay on maintenance. We tried to make it not a necessary recurring fee in case things change on your side, but if you can't afford it, we do recommend you stay on it. It does include support, which our support team is in the US here, as well as upgrades to the product and the like. And that initial purchase price does include the first year maintenance. We do have a couple other things we do on the pricing to make it simpler. The products all are the same price except for small companies. So if you're under 100 users or under 300 users as a not-for-profit, we do a maintenance-only pricing. And that maintenance only pricing means instead of buying the product, which is roughly, let's say, between $2,000 and $4,000, you would simply pay first year maintenance, and that would be your perpetual license price. So that would be in the $900 range to buy any of our products and the like. So we try to cater to these small companies. Again, you can do a trial and then buy it at a reduced cost. If you're a larger customer, that is, you've got more than 2,000 people in your tenant, we have an extra support fee. It's not a license fee, but it is a support fee because you open up more tickets. And that support fee is listed on our website. You can take a look at it. I'll show you where it's located, but it's an additional $2,500 a year per account, not per product. So very easy. If you've got 280 SharePoint users and you're not for profit, your perpetual license would be not the $4,000 for Calendar Plus, but it would be $878. And your maintenance would also be $878, which is optional. If you're a corporation and are small, a 50 user company, we get a lot of those out there across the world. You would have the same pricing, right? So it would be that 22% of the actual price listed on our website, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick tour of the website, and then we're going to get into these products now. So let's jump into our website, bamboosolutions.com. We offer services, building out Power Apps, Power Automate, migrations, which we have a whole migration center of excellence here. We've got our support where you can request support. We also provide help desk for Microsoft 365. So we do a lot of things besides just product, but all of our products are listed here under the products tab. And this products tab is broken into two sections. On the left are the products for SharePoint Online, and on the right are the products for SharePoint On-Prem. Now, we still support 2016, 2019, and 2022. We've got 50 products, lots of customers on support. That is still an active part of our business. And we welcome all of our on-prem customers or hybrid customers that work both on-prem and also in SharePoint Online. But we're focusing on the SharePoint Online products today. If we look at the actual view more, we can see a complete list of our 25 products for SharePoint Online. These products are also available in AppSource, I think about 15 of them at this point. So you can just go to Microsoft AppSource to get your trials and automatically push them into your app catalog, or you can download them from our site as well. So for each of the products, we've got a nice product page. We've got a nice little description of each of the products, so you can kind of browse this catalog. A couple new ones. We've got a Directory Plus that actually tunnels into your Active Directory, so you can pull up people directories within SharePoint. We've got a new Org Chart Plus, which will build organizational charts against your Active Directory. I think this is actually Exchange, and this one's Active Directory. So either way, we're using the Graph API to gather that data and the like. But that's for a different webinar. So let's take a look at Calendar Plus. If we look at the actual product page for Calendar Plus, you'll get videos of how to use it. Our user guides are located on the product pages, and our pricing is down here at the bottom. So you can see we're very transparent with our pricing. So this product is a perpetual license, first year maintenance of $4,000. If you are a small business, you can learn about that program that I just talked about by clicking here. And if you are a large business over 2,000 users, you would click here to learn about the enterprise support program and what that looks like. If you want a trial, click the glowing orange try buy button that's hidden here in the corner, and you can just add that trial to your cart. Check out, no credit card needed. download the file, add it to your app catalog, and off you go for 30 days with full support on a trial of any of our products. Let's just glance at this enterprise support page. Again, this is for customers that have over 2,000 users in SharePoint. If you've got more than 2,000 users in SharePoint, but they're not accessing SharePoint just because give us a call. We can talk about that. We don't want to be unfair here. We're just trying to assess the amount of tickets and the like that you're going to be giving us throughout the year. So if you're between 2,000 and 10,000 users, there's an additional $2,500 per year per account, not per product. So if you've got 5 products, you only pay that once. If you're under 100,000, it's about $13K a year. And if you're over 100,000, which we've got several accounts that have more than 100,000 users in SharePoint, they've got our product on tens of thousands of site collections or sites. So obviously they're gonna need to pay a little more support than everybody else just to keep our lights on. All right, so happy to talk about this, but all that information is located right on our website. All right, let's go back and we're going to take a look at the first product that was really a big hit, which is called Simple List Search and also now Advanced List Search, right? So it is the same product, but it's got 2 pieces of functionality that we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. So List Search makes it easy for users to find information that's located in lists or document libraries. So the search bar at the top is good, but it really only searches within that site collection and brings everything back that a user may need. It's also very difficult for users to create multiple field searches, right? I want to find documents that were created within a certain time period by a certain person. It's very hard to do that with that top search this site search bar. So what you do is you drop our product on a page, you point it at a list or library or a group of lists and libraries, and we create a search form based on what it is you want to enable those users to search against, right? It lets users get what they need faster with more relevance to what they're actually searching for. It also does a lot of things that SharePoint doesn't do out of the box, such as partial word searches, ranges of dates, currencies, and the like, and a lot of other things. So you don't have to learn how to do and or operators. Number fields and currency fields and Boolean fields can be searched, which they cannot be searched for in out of the box SharePoint. Operators such as equals to and is greater than are quickly selectable. That is, you can specify ranges of things you're searching for. You can target the search feature to specific lists or document libraries, and they don't have to be in the same site collection or the same hub and spoke. They can go across your entire tenant, which we'll talk about is pretty neat. Partial word searches are key. It doesn't really work well in SharePoint. So if you're searching for something that contains a phrase, it doesn't really work in out-of-the-box SharePoint. And users get frustrated because they're not getting the results they expect because they know that document exists there, right? So that's what we do out of the box. Now we've integrated List Search with another product called List Rollup. And what List Rollup does is it allows you to roll together multiple document libraries from different sites into a single schema and then search against that schema. That's the advanced list search. So imagine having a marketing document library, a policy document library, and some other document library spread out across your tenant, but you want a single search somewhere in your site that can search all 3 at once to bring back a unified result. That's what the combination of List Rollup and Simple Search does together. It's got all sorts of advanced features within that List Rollup that can do all sorts of amazing things, but the integration with Simple List Search is new, and we're going to see that in action today. So essentially, what you can do is you can take multiple lists or document libraries, roll them together into a List Rollup schema, and then point Simple List Search against that schema and search all of these at once. That's pretty amazing and just super easy for those users, right? So you can see here we've got a site under demos, a site under this subsite, and a site under that subsite, all built together with List Rollup. What's nice is it's dynamic in that you can specify within List Rollup that I want to search all sites and subsites under this URL for lists of the same name or same type. And that way it can stay dynamic. So if you create a new document library under there, List Rollup will automatically find it and include it in the search moving forward. All right, so we're going to take a look at how that works, first at the simple level and then at the complex level. All right, so I'm going to bring my demos over here, and we're going to go from there. All right. So I know that was a little SharePointy and maybe a little bit quick, but hopefully this this demo will help you see what's going on. And I need to just bring this down a little bit because my thing up top keeps popping down. All right. So this is just basic list search, and I'm going to show you how it's set up and configured, but first I'm going to show you how it's used. So we're pointing at a single document library, and based on the metadata in that document library, we have built this list of fields that a user can search for. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for everything to see what I got in my library. So I got a pretty big, actually I got a pretty small library of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different documents. You can see I've got different fields here than I have in my search because you can configure that within the product. I can export my results, I can print my results, or I can just simply hop in and do all the things that I'd want to do within SharePoint. Now, what's nice is this search can exist on a team site or a project site, right? But it can be searching documents that are located way far away without having to navigate over there to do the search. So it's a way of really combining your data so that users can get at it pretty easily. Okay, so if I get a very large result and I want to say, you know what, I want to see really just documents that were modified by Courtney. So I can use this field, which automatically grabs your people picker, do a search, and oops, maybe it's not modified. What is that? Is it created by? I think that's all Megan. Yeah, this is all Megan. Oh, you know what? This is person field. So I need to add that to my search. Well, let's go ahead and say I want to say everything that is equal to yes. And now we get some results, and we can see we've highlighted those results in there, right? If I still get too many results, I can go and then add an additional field that, let's say I want to look for what do I want to look for that's unique? Date and time 3/20/21. Let's do a modified this month. Let's say this, we know it was modified in between May 1st and today. So something a little more recent. Set that. Why can't I find this? Oh, it's 2022. That's why. All right, let's try that again. Yes. And then I'm going to look for something that is modified in between. And I'm going to go way back 2021, May. And you can see it keeps that. And was it 2022? Did I mess that up again? 2022. Well done, Rob. Super old. All right, let's try that again. In between, and you can see it can move around pretty quickly. I know that's sort of an excuse, but to get back to 2022, I've got lots of options as a user, and I'm now going to do that search. And there we find the single document that was created or modified in May of 2022 that has this option selected to yes. Right, that would be very difficult to do on this search bar up here, to do all of that sort of aggregating searches to find things out up there. Now, the way this is set up is all of our products, once you edit the page, end up with this gear wheel that if you have permission to access, come up with a flyout configurator. This flyout configurator allows you to configure what the experience is for the user for this instance of simple list search. In this case, we're going to point to a list. We're going to look at the list rollup schema in a second. We specify where that list is within your tenant. You click load and you get your list of lists. I grab the list that I'm going to want the user to search against. And what we can see here is I want to add title because that's what I wanted to search on before. And there's my person field. I'm going to add that in. And now I've got all of these fields that I'm going to allow the users to search against. And I can actually reorder those if I'd like. And it's going to rebuild my form over here. I enabled partial word searches. I can do some default column values. I'm going to join together all of the fields with an and or an or. I can include nested folders or not if I'm searching a document library, and I've got this all columns field as well. I can change the name of the search if I'd like. And then on the results, I can define custom views that I want or use an existing list view, which is the all items, change a bunch of things in terms of my highlighted color and the like. So let's go ahead and save that. We'll republish it. And now I've got my person field here and the like. So if we were to go through, and in this case, I was going to do my yes, and then on my person field, I'm going to select Courtney, and I'm going to do a search. And now I found the person is Courtney, and it's yes, which is a much cleaner version than what we saw before. So again, helping promote search, which is always a big issue with users, and making it very easy for people to find things as well. On the advanced list search, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of work backwards. We're going to first look at list rollup. And list rollup allows us to configure multiple document libraries or lists into a single schema. So here in list rollup, what I've done is I said I've created a schema called all list rollup doc libraries. And the way I've done that is I'm looking for all lists with the same name within a certain site collection. And we're going to look at all the siblings and subsites of that site. I give it the site I want to look at. I give it the sample list name. And then I said I can filter, I want all items or some of the items from those lists and libraries. I'm just going to choose all items. So what that does is it creates all of the content that exists within those lists. So I've got essentially one document library that's called sub1, and I've got another document library called sub2 that's got a bunch of documents. And what list rollup has done is it's combined them all together into a single schema that makes it look like a single document library. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to point list search against that schema. All right, so in advanced list search, instead of pointing to a single document library, I'm going to say I'm going to look at SharePoint list rollup. I'm going to point to where that schema lives. It gives me my list of schemas, and there's the schema that I just made. It brings in all the fields that I've now added to my search, and everything else is exactly the same. But what now happens is instead of searching a single document library, I'm searching multiple document libraries or lists, so that as you can see, I'm getting everything down here the like. So if I'm looking for, let's say, an author that is Megan, which I think is the created by. I got two in here. I don't like that. There we go. Oh, created by. Interesting. I get across both document libraries all of the documents that were created by Megan. I can do the same thing with publish date, version number, status, name, and the like. So it gives them a single search that can now search multiple document libraries at once in a much more intuitive way. So I know that was a little complicated, but believe me, the power that this provides for users is something that they really can't live without, and it was really popular at the show. Okay, let's go to the next product, which is Calendar Plus. So as we all know, in the new modern experience in SharePoint Online, calendaring is a bit of a struggle. There is no more month views and multi-month views and repeating events and things that people expect within a calendar, yet calendar and dates are very important. So what we've done is brought that classic calendar experience into the modern world. So you can bring multiple calendars together, roll them together into a single view. You can color code those events. You can do universal searches against all of those rolled together calendars. We can look at calendar views and Gantt views. You can add week numbering and things like that. We've got multi-month displays. We've got searching. We've got legends and the like. So once you see it, you'll be like, I get it. So a lot of times people are just using overlays, right, to bring calendars together, but there's a lot of limitations to that and the way it works. So here we see sort of a sample overlay of SharePoint out of the box, and then we see our product over here of what you get in a modern experience. So here's the legend that's filterable. Here's our color-coded events. We've got an Exchange calendar and a SharePoint calendar rolled together. We can add events to those sub-calendars and the like. And we've got a really great blog that shows you the differences of what you can do with SharePoint out of the box versus like. Now, this calendar view doesn't really exist in a modern experience as well. And the like. We now integrate with the Graph API so we can pull in Exchange calendars, so conference room calendars, asset calendars. So we're actually reaching outside of SharePoint to create that view. So let's take a look at what that product looks like before we wrap things up today. All right, so here we see Calendar Plus on a page. We've got essentially 3 calendars. We've got 2 Exchange calendars and a SharePoint calendar. These calendars are then color-coded by the calendar name, and then these category events, which allow you to categorize the events in here. As a user, I can quickly just hover over any event and see additional data that's configurable without having to click on it and do a page refresh. In this case down here with Meeting with Bob, we can see this is actually multiple categories for this event that allows you to categorize an event across 2 different categories or more. I can add information to those subcategories, both in Exchange and within SharePoint. And all of this is security trimmed. So if I don't have access to one of these calendars, I simply won't see that one calendar, but I'll see the other calendars as well. In terms of views, we support lots of views. This is our agenda view, which allows you to see only days that have events and what those events are. We also have multi-month views, like a quarter view and a yearly view, which gives you a more list-like experience across each of the months. So we can see all of the events within April. Here's a multi-line one. Before we get to see more, here's May and here's June. Again, all configurable and the like. This is a lot of data. So if I'm, say, searching for something and I don't quite see it within the my eyeball, I can go ahead and say, you know what? I know there's a stakeholder meeting in here somewhere. I'm going to do a search, and then I get just those meetings across all the calendars that have a stakeholder within it. Okay, so how is this set up? Let's go ahead and edit this calendar. Again, we get the same flyout experience. And we've got a calendar view, a Gantt view, a list view. We can enable users to create events from those calendars. And then I can also determine the size of these boxes and how many events I want to show before I get the More button. In this case, I chose 4, but you can make those as big or small as you want. And I've also, on the multi-month views, chosen 12. On the data sources, we support both SharePoint lists and Exchange calendars. You simply give the calendar a name. You can set all of your colors and fonts. You tell us where that calendar exists. You grab the list. You tell us what's the title field, what's the start date, what's the end date, and what you want to include in those pop-ups. You can choose a category field or not, and then you'll get a list of all of the categories that we see within that field. Now, you can trim the data down by deselecting some of these categories, which will then not show events from that category, or you can use a specific SharePoint view, right? Or you can specify your own filter condition. And this gets really powerful in that you may have a marketing calendar, an events calendar, and a conference calendar, but you don't want to show everything from those calendars in this rolled up view. You may want to just show a select number of things like things that were created by a certain person, or the marketing team will put the word publish in the description, and only events that have the word publish in the description will be rolled together in this case, right? So that makes it easy to help you filter down the data if needed, so that you don't have a ton of data in this rolled together calendar. Here we've got an Exchange calendar, same procedure, another Exchange calendar, and there's no limit to the number of calendars that you can add to this specific calendar here. And then we've got some nice view settings, such as setting the default view when a user comes to the page, and then which of all of our views you want to include in this bar across here, adding week numbers and the like. Pretty straightforward. Once you get things set up, you simply submit and republish, and that calendar is ready to go and be used by your users. All right, that was quick and dirty. We got through it in a half an hour. Again, if you want a free trial, simply go to our website. If you have any questions, actually, it looks like we may have a question. Let me go in here. No, you can have as on the simplest search, as many items that you have within the list or library, we will be able to roll together and search against. So good question there. There are obviously some limitations within SharePoint that you've got to watch out for, but our product doesn't have any limitations. Again, all of the stuff I say we try before we buy. We're very into that. We're here to help and support you. If you have any questions, okay, we got another question coming in. Ah, you're welcome. I hope you found this informative. I was trying to move at the high level, but that list rollup has a ton of features that can help you move data together without having to remove it from its source where it lives. And again, we are front-end facing, end user experience driven tools that are low cost, high value, should be included in everybody's SharePoint Online tenant. We solve a lot of problems that users get frustrated with SharePoint. Reach out to us. We'd love to help you. And thank you all for attending. And we'll see you guys online. See that question coming in, Martine? Thank you so much. Reach out when you're ready if you have any questions. Have a great day.